who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach.
What you see here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide. Here we have two brain scans. These are fMRIs. These are two different individuals with different levels of expression of VMAT2. On top is an individual who's a religious fanatic, an individual, and we've repeated this numerous times, that has high levels of VMAT2. Now, this individual down here who had low levels of the VMAT2 gene, this individual would self-describe as not particularly religious. In each case, these individuals were read a religious text. This individual lit up the right middle frontal gyrus, shown here, and that's a part of the brain that's associated with theory of mind. It's a part of the brain that has to do with intents and beliefs and desires. In marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious, and when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula lights up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
So you're suggesting I take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether they're putting a bullet in their head?
So the data that I'm presenting here supports the concept that we're proposing, and I think that we would not propose to do CT scans or fMRIs on individuals out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed? Aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses, such as flu or rhinoviruses, and we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses, and we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
This is fascinating. What's the name of this proposal?
Yeah, so the name of this project is FunVax, which is the vaccine for religious fundamentalism.
And you have a proposal already?
The proposal has just been submitted, and I think that the data that I have shown you today would support the development of this project, and we think it has great promise.
Is counting on its scientists, the people operating electron microscopes and conducting clinical trials in hopes of developing a drug or vaccine. Because that's what it's going to take to beat this pandemic, breakthrough science. But we must remember, that's not all it will take. For life to get back to normal, we also need to call on our common humanity. COVID-19 has reminded us that viruses don't obey borders or customs laws. They don't care about what nationality you are. So long as COVID-19 is somewhere, COVID-19 can spread anywhere. So what will it take to end this pandemic? Well, it will take more than making a vaccine available to the very highest bidder. It's going to take more than delivering it only to people in wealthy nations. The pandemic won't end until people everywhere can be immunized against it, until everyone can benefit from the world's science, regardless of where they live. That's what this effort is about. By combining the world's expertise and brain power and resources, we can attack this disease in the way it's attacking us, globally. And by working together, we can beat it much faster than if we were working alone. Our foundation is proud to partner with you, and I'm pleased to announce today that we will pledge $100 million towards this effort. I want to thank the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, for making this event happen. And I want to thank all the leaders involved for their generosity.
Back in this country, the United States now has more than 85,000 coronavirus cases now. That is the most in the world.
Among those helping to battle the pandemic are Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Dr. Priscilla Chan. In an exclusive interview, Zuckerberg told us about his company's role in the fight. This morning, the couple is also announcing that their charitable group, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, is partnering with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on possible treatments.
You know, when we interviewed you a few months ago about C.I.A, one of the things you said that stood out to me, guys, was what we'd like to do is eliminate all disease in our children's lifetime. Boy, you certainly couldn't have seen anything like this coming. What are you doing specifically to advance that?
I'm really proud to share that C.I.A is going to be joining Gates and others to put together something they're calling the Therapeutics Accelerator to fight coronavirus. They're going to fund a group to screen all the drugs that we know have potential effects against coronavirus. Figuring out drugs is always expensive, but philanthropy can do a role in kickstarting this. So we're going to be contributing $25 million with Gates and others to be able to get this started quickly and now.
Part of the idea here is that often a drug can be helpful against multiple diseases. So you can basically take all those drugs that have already been screened as safe and test them to see if they might also have a positive impact for either preventing the coronavirus or reducing the symptoms and making it less damaging.
Mark, I look at Facebook, the company, you've got something like 45,000 people who are now working at home. Please tell me the challenges of working with that.
We basically have asked everyone to stay home. And even if you can't practically do your work from home, we're going to make sure that you get paid in full for your time through this period. And I hope that that can set an example for some of the other companies out there.
But Mark, we don't know how long this period's going to be.
That's true, but there are a lot of companies that I think can afford to take care of their people. And I think we have a responsibility to do that. Facebook
usage, as you know, is off the charts, but your ad revenue is down, way down. You're talking about in the billions of dollars. Are you rethinking your business model because of that?
No, nothing drastic like that. And look, yes, we have an advertising business. I do think it will be hit. We're fortunate enough to be a larger company that has a meaningful cash reserve. And I think we'll be able to weather this and do okay. My priorities right now are making sure that we take care of our community. I'm confident that we'll get through this if we do the right thing.
Do you see this as an opportunity to rebuild the brand?
I know certainly over the last few years, a lot of people have had questions about whether we've been proactive enough in handling different situations. And I think given that history, it's especially important for us to show that we can be proactive in handling this well. I'm very proud about how our teams around the world have pulled together to support people, getting accurate information, fighting misinformation, supporting small businesses in their recovery, making sure that important social and communication services that people rely on to keep in touch with the people they love stay stable and running.
Mark, talk about bringing people together. D-Nice's party the other night on Instagram. He got so excited when he heard you were in the room.
What's up, Mark Zuckerberg? Thanks for letting us rock on.
I appreciate it. That was very nice. It is really inspiring to see how people are finding ways to come together and support each other, even when we can't be together in person.
Well, you two certainly didn't need a pandemic to bring you closer together, but has this led to a more melding of your two lives together?
The only adult I can talk to in person, so pretty solid one.
I would have probably been a little warmer, but I would have said you're my favorite person, and if I had to be locked up with anyone, it would be you.
And tell me how you get through it. Are you afraid? Are you optimistic? Are you hopeful? Because I think we're living in a time where a lot of people are, to put it bluntly, just terrified.
There are so many people working together on this. And I think there are so many people who are reaching out and caring for each other in a way that is beautiful. And there's already people who have lost their lives and are putting so much into this.
I can see, Priscilla, this is making you emotional. I'm curious about why.
It's because I feel so heartened by all the people that are on the front lines taking care of us. And it's not just the doctors, it's the people in the grocery stores, the mail delivery person to make sure we have what we need. And so the everyday bravery and hard work and people and the scientists I'm getting emails constantly about people who want to contribute. So all together, that has to mean something.